Welcome back to the Electrodynamics Lab, lead physical scientist. It's okay, Mia. The giant magnet doesn't seem to be attracting anything at all. That's strange, right? The magnets we used before didn't need anything special to work, so what's going on with this one? In this video, we're going to investigate our giant magnet so that we can explain how an electric current can create a magnetic field, and we'll explore real-life uses of electromagnets like this one. Let's get started. Let's experiment with our giant magnet and see what it can do. First, let's test if this magnet can attract metal at all. I'm going to bring a handful of paper clips closer to the magnet to see if they stick to it. What do you think will happen? Do you think the paper clips will jump up and stick to the magnet? Only stick when they touch the magnet or not stick to the magnet at all. Pause the video and jot down your prediction. Let's see what happens. Oh, okay. It looks like they stick, but only when touching the magnet. That means this magnet isn't very strong. So maybe it's missing something. I see a cable running from this magnet to the wall outlet. Maybe it needs power to work. Let's try turning it on and see what happens. Ready, Mia? Good thinking, Mia. Safety first. Ready, set, now. Whoa, check that out. As soon as an electric current flows through the wire, the magnet's pull becomes significantly stronger. And now that I've turned it off, only the paper clips are still hanging on because Mia was a little too heavy to stay up there. This experiment tells me two things. First, this magnet only works when it's powered by electricity, meaning we can control when it's a magnet and when it's not. Second, this magnet is much stronger than a regular one since it was strong enough to pull Mia off the ground. So what's special about this magnet? Let's take a look inside and see what we can find. It looks like this magnet has a coil of wire wrapped around a core of iron. Then the wire runs through the machine to where it plugs into the wall. Since this magnet requires electricity to work, it's called an electromagnet. We'll define an electromagnet as a coil of wire wrapped around a core of magnetic metal with current flowing through the wire. And to avoid any confusion about what kind of magnet we're talking about, let's call the ones we used last time permanent magnets, since they always have a magnetic field. Now that we know what an electromagnet is, let's explore how it works. How can an electric current make a magnet more powerful? An electromagnet needs three parts to work: a power source, like an electrical outlet or a battery, a coil of wire, and a magnetic metal, like iron. We can create a simple electromagnet by wrapping a coil of wire around a nail and connecting it to a battery. Let's use this electromagnet to see how they work. When we turn on an electromagnet, the battery sends an electric current through the wire, causing electrons to flow through it. These moving charges have a north and a south pole, just like atoms in a magnetic metal. As a result, when electrons move, they create a tiny and very weak magnetic field in a circle around the wire. When we coil the wire, the magnetic field of each loop adds to the others, making the overall field stronger. So far, we have a power source and a coil of wire, but our electromagnet also had an iron core in the middle of the coils. What do you think that iron does? If you said it helps make the electromagnet stronger, you're right. When iron is inside the coil, its atoms line up, and that adds even more power to the magnetic field. The result is a magnet that can be turned on or off by closing or opening the circuit. If coiling the wire makes the magnet stronger, what do you think happens when we add even more loops to the wire? Pause the video and jot down your thoughts. When we add more loops to the wire, the strength of the magnetic field increases. Each loop of wire has its own magnetic field, so adding more loops to the wire is like lining up several magnets in a row. That's only one way to change the strength of an electromagnetic field. Can you think of any other ways we can make our electromagnet stronger or weaker? Maybe by doing something to the battery or the iron core? Pause the video and jot down your thoughts. When we added an electric current to the giant magnet, it went from a weak permanent magnet that could only hold a few paper clips to a strong electromagnet that could pull Mia across the room. Anytime we change the strength of the current, we also change the strength of the magnetic field. So what about the core? An iron core works really well because it's magnetic. But what if we used a different material or changed the size of the core? Cores that are made from different materials or that are different sizes will produce different magnetic fields. Being able to control the strength of an electromagnet's field is very useful for various types of electronics. Let's explore how electromagnets are used in the devices we rely on every day. Did you know that you've already seen a device that uses electromagnets in the Institute of Physical Phenomena? Back in the Energy Research Wing, we learned how we could turn electrical energy into motion. Let's look back and see how. This is how most electric motors work. When the motor is turned on, electrons flow through a coil of wire near a magnet. This generates a force that spins the coil of wire. If the coil of wire is attached to something like a fan blade, for example, we can make the fan blade spin too. It turns out that the force that makes the motor spin is a magnetic force from an electromagnet. Motors have an electromagnet and a permanent magnet. The two magnets are put together so that when an electric current flows through the electromagnet, they repel each other. The electromagnet is mounted on an axle, allowing it to spin very quickly. Depending on the size of the motor and the strength of the electromagnet, a motor can turn anything from a fan blade to the wheels of an electric car. Electromagnets aren't just found inside big machines. They're in everyday things you use, like your earbuds, a doorbell, or phone speakers. Speakers have an electromagnet and a permanent magnet, just like a motor. In a speaker, the changing magnetic field pushes and pulls against the permanent magnet, causing the speaker to vibrate and make sound. When a speaker is connected to a device like a phone, the phone can send a different amount of current to the speaker depending on the sound the speaker needs to make. Each time the current changes, the electromagnet's pull on the permanent magnet changes too. Take a close look at the speaker. The coil is moving back and forth. What do you notice about how it moves when the current changes? When the current gets stronger, the electromagnet vibrates faster. When the current gets weaker, the vibrations slow down. When the electromagnet vibrates, it pushes on the surrounding air. Each tiny push causes the air particles to move, much like a ripple spreading through water. Those moving air particles are what we hear as sound. You might remember from the Hall of Waves that sound travels through vibrations in the air. This is where they begin. Great work, lead physical scientists. Let's review what we've discovered. An electromagnet is a coil of wire wrapped around a core of magnetic metal with electricity running through it. Electromagnets are much stronger than permanent magnets. and their strength can be controlled by changing the number of coils in the wire, the amount of current in the wire, or the type of core. When electricity flows through a straight wire, it creates a very weak magnetic field. Electromagnets are used to generate mechanical energy in a motor and sound energy in a speaker. Be sure to complete the additional activities and online practice included with this lesson. In our next lesson, we'll explore how electricity and magnetism are used in technology and communication. And remember, lead physical scientists, the world is full of mysteries. Stay curious, keep exploring, and unlock the wonders around you. See you next time at the Institute of Physical Phenomena. Hey, hey.